We're whalers on the moon. Sorry. That song has been stuck in my head for years, and rewatching tonight's episode for this video did not help. Anyways, my name is Gabe, and welcome back to our ongoing Futurama recap review, where as the name suggests, recap, review Futurama. Tonight's episode is the second. The series has landed. Let's start with the recap. Fry, Leela, and Bender, after joining Planet Express in the pilot, are given their first mission after being introduced to a colorful cast of supporting characters, including Hermes Conrad, Amy Wong, and Zoidberg. I can't do a Zoidberg impression. Nope, not at all. Well, after meeting them and whatever hijinks ensue from that, Leela is assigned captain, and they go to the moon, which really excites Fry. And they end up on an amusement park on the moon. After a while of being in the amusement park, Fry gets bored of it and wants to go to the real moon, which he eventually does. After which, with Leela in tow, he and Leela eventually run out of oxygen and find themselves on a moon farm with a moon hick redneck guy who, after hilarious hijinks with Bender, ends up chasing them. So they run away and find the original moon landing site, where when the hick guy comes back, Amy, who was with them, and after having dropped the keys into a claw machine, became really good at it, saves them, and that's the episode. Honestly, I think that was my worst. I think that was a horrible recap. I apologize. On to the review. I'm not going to say it's a bad episode. It's not. But it's definitely not my favorite, both in actual plot and in terms of comedy. The episode is neither that funny or really interesting compared to what happens next. It's not a surprise. It takes a show a while to really catch its stride. And, well, naturally, Futurama's second outing wasn't going to carry a lot of the weight that the later episodes do. This episode, even more so than the pilot, its main purpose is to introduce us to what will, or at least at the time was intended to be, the status quo. And it does a satisfying job at that. We get introduced to and start to understand the personalities of our main cast and some of the extra characters around them. Some of those personalities will be slightly tweaked here and there, I'm sure, but that is the main purpose of this episode. And it does a passable. And it does have some funny moments. It's just not as strong as the first one in that regard either. But I guess speaking of funny moments, it's time for the Comedy Award. Well, before I even start talking about the actual funny scenes, I gotta give an honorable mention to this. We carry a harpoon. Look, that song has stuck with me for years. And that is impressive. Not only has it stuck with me, I've remembered where it was from. And for that alone, you deserve credit. Now, honestly, there are really only two stand-up moments that made me go, yeah, that was funny. Well, actually, three. So I'll start with this one.
Now open your mouth and let's have a look at that brain. No, not that mouth.
I only have one.
Really?
I don't know, it got a chuckle out of me. And then there's this.
Get it off! Get it up! Get it! Uh-oh. How many roads must a man walk down before you...
But ultimately, probably due to my own nostalgia, this line was the ultimate standout for me.
Fine. I'll I'll go build my own lunar lander with blackjack and hookers. In fact, forget the lunar lander and the blackjack.
But ultimately, I think I'm giving it this award this time mainly because of pop culture, I guess, relevance. People have referenced this line for years. Some variation on it, usually a variation of the last instance of it. So, yeah. It gets it for that reason alone. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more like it, do subscribe. But more importantly than anything else, have a good night. Welcome to the Secret After Show. Okay, so today I wanted to talk about characters. Because this episode starts to introduce quite a bit of our secondary cast, I want to be honest about something that Matt Groening is really good at, but is especially good in Futurama. There are so many memorable characters in both The Simpsons and Futurama. And, well, I don't think a lot of other shows have that same resourcefulness. Don't get me wrong, every show has their standout. But no other comedy have I ever gone, oh, this character... Oh, here's a bajillion characters who aren't part of the main cast officially, but I couldn't potentially love them more than the main cast. You're not going to find a Zoidberg... You're not going to find a Zap Brannigan. Or, well, honestly, he's the biggest stand-up, but there are a billion others. Richard Nixon's head. Lure from the planet Percy I ate. These are all characters who don't even necessarily show up all the time, but they stick with me. To the point where the show even eventually gives them certain episodes to be more focused on. And it is a seriously impressive thing the show does. And I am excited to get to the episodes where a lot of these characters come back. Or are introduced, rather. Anyways, that's all I really wanted to talk about this time. I hope you enjoyed this video. And anyways, to send us out, but there ain't no whales, so we sing our whaling tune.